Welcome back, you guys. I am ready to get into this video because I got the new Dieverune Cosmetics Christmas collection in PR and it is very glorious. But I thought maybe we could sit down, get ready together, chat, and just talk about life, all the things while I create this look and just hang out. I am going to upload this on Christmas for those people who maybe don't celebrate Christmas or just don't have plans or whatever. I mean, if you're seeing this after, that works too. But I thought we could just spend the day together, keep each other company today, and just have a good time. So if that sounds like fun and you want to see what I did to create this look, maybe draw some inspiration, pull some stuff out in your collection, recreate it. If you do, tag me on Instagram. I'm linked down below. But let's go ahead and get into it. Welcome back, you guys, and for those of you who are new here, my name is Heather, and hopefully this video brings you some joy today. So I usually don't start my videos out with my makeup not done, but this is a Christmas episode, and I decided to do it because, you know, I've had several different types of Christmases, and you know, this also goes for those who celebrate Christmas, but I've had Christmases where my house has been, or I went to a home packed full of family and been surrounded by like so many people. And the Thanksgiving Christmas before I met Amanda, me and my ex had just separated. I was homeless. Like, it was like the worst time in my whole life. Or like Christmas after losing someone, you know, sometimes you just don't feel like celebrating, but it also makes you kind of sad when you don't, when it's something that you're used to doing. So I decided I wanted to sit down with you guys. For those of you who maybe don't celebrate just because, you know, it's just not your thing, or for those of you who might do celebrate, but for one reason or another, you're just finding yourself in a different place this year. And I don't know about you guys, but this Christmas does not feel like Christmas to me at all. Like, we haven't even put up our tree or anything. Like, we have some decor up, but I don't ever not put up my tree. Christmas is my favorite holiday, but this year just feels off. You know what I mean? So what I wanted to do in today's video is just sit down and get ready with you guys. I mean, I did get ready for the most part, but we're going to do eyes and highlighter. So I got this new collection in from Dieverune. I was looking for the bag, but I don't know what I did with it. It is their, what's it called? Sporklemas collection. I got it in PR and it is very beautiful. We have like a bunch of different pieces. Well, this is Blend Bunny. We have like 3 mascaras that are colorful, a really cool like liner situation, some new gems, and 4 singles, which, you know, the Dieverune singles are my absolute favorite. But we also have a new mini highlighter, and I just want to sit down with you guys. I pulled out some older palettes in my collection. Some from Dieverune, some from Unearthly. We're going to create a look and just hang out together, have fun, and come up with something a little Christmas leaning, but also I'm going to check out this new collection from Dieverune at the same time. Try to push myself out of my comfort zone, create something a little different than what I might be used to, and we're just going to have fun, and I hope you guys are into it. So I also got these 2 gem sheets from Dieverune and love these. The color of this blue one is just so gorgeous, but I have a lot of their other ones, like a lot of them. I love Dieverune with my whole entire heart. So what I'm thinking of doing in this look today, there are so many good like different kinds of shimmers. This one being my favorite. It's called Christmas Lights. And it's a hollow, but it goes like from like a muted purple to a green. It is so pretty, you guys. But we're going to do like a chartreuse red situation. And it's going to be so fun. So I'm also going to do this shade, Garland. Like, look at that. That is so cool. She really just comes out with the best singles. You know what I mean? So I'm going to play with these singles. And then I pulled out some palettes because I need mattes. I can't do a look without mattes. So I'm thinking we can do... I'm missing one of the palettes I was going to use, I'm pretty sure. Hold on, let me grab it. Here it is. I want to do this shade in the Gloomy Gardens from Dieverune. And then we're going to dip into this one as well and use this chartreuse too. They have like slightly different undertones. I swatched all of this out yesterday. I'll pop it up on the screen. This is the easiest way for me to come up with fun looks. And I love doing that. If you haven't tried it, I recommend. But I also pulled out a couple of unearthly palettes. So I have the Just a Taste because I'm looking for like a deep red shade like this. But I also have Warms My Blood. And there's some really good red mattes in here too. Like this one and this one. And the reason I really want to lean into that red is because I also want to use this red mascara. I've never tried colored mascara, so I'm really excited for that. This green one is really gorgeous too. It's like a Kelly green almost. It's really pretty. I do want to give that one a try, but this collection is really cool. She also sent this. It's like a little keyboard thing. I'm obsessed. I love it. It makes my little ADHD brain so happy. And some really cool like gems. We have like little metal balls. And look at the little like flowers in there. They're so cute. So I pulled out the other sticker sheets because while these are beautiful, it's not going to go with the vibe. And I might do like these because of the greens and maybe like some of these reds. I will say I've tried a lot of different gems and stuff, and hers are by far my favorite. They stick and adhere really, really well, and they're a lot easier to put on. So we're just gonna play and let loose. I don't typically do like graphic things on camera because honestly I'm not the best at it. I'm still learning, and I like to put the good stuff out there, you know what I mean? But I figured today we could just get lost in the makeup and have fun. Maybe you could pull your stuff out, and while I'm creating, you can create. So I'm pulling out my 2 primers from Dieverune and starting with the Color and Cover. You really don't need a white for this look, but for the sake of using Dieverune, I'm just gonna go with it. And while I'm getting this ready, I want to pop up swatches of the highlighter and the singles and everything for you guys so you can see what it looks like in case you have been on the fence and maybe you want more details on that stuff. And I'll also have it all linked down below in the description box in case you are interested. But with that being said, I hope you love the swatches because I lost my mind swatching them. Oh, you know what? I almost forgot. Let's do the highlighter. This is in the shade Tinsel, and in Swatch, this is gorgeous. We might need a bigger shade of this, because I do go through highlighters, and if I end up loving this as much as I think I might need more. Oh yeah, it has like red sparkles in it. It's really pretty. Okay, so I think I'm gonna start with this red in the Warms My Blood palette. I was drawing a complete blank, but it's like a lighter orange toned red, and it might help me make sure that these other reds are more like true reds. You know what I mean? Not pink leaning, which is definitely what I do not want. I do not want. I'm going to start this with an E06 and going into that shade Drink. You can always count on Unearthly for the pigmentation. Wait. I did this wrong. The red's going out here. Scratch all that. Yeah. Literally seconds in, and I've already made a mistake. Okay. Let's try that again, but completely different palette now, because I actually want to start with the greens. Using a clean E06, I'm going to start with this in the inner corner, or the inner half of the lid. Don't know what I was thinking. I just love these grungy greens. They make my heart so freaking happy. And I love that she loves them too, because she has them all throughout her palettes. But I was going to do this with only Dieverune palettes, but then I noticed she has no reds in her palettes yet. I mean, she's a relatively newer brand, and you can't start with everything, but I was kind of shocked to see that. So this is what I'm going for. I just switched to this E38 diffuse crease from Sigma so I could like really buff this up and out. I kind of want this to be in an angle, and then I'm going to do the red in an angle as well, and then bridge the two colors together with the shimmers. At least that's the goal. Sometimes I end up just not even remembering what the plan was and doing something entirely different. So just putting it out there. Let's go ahead and put some of that on the lower lash line too. I have to keep muting the video because my dogs are barking. Amanda just got home and they like to go nuts. I'm thinking I might do a little of this color as well. Like just here in the inner corner. Perfect. Then we'll go in with Gloomy Garden and do the same thing again. I'm going to use this E04 brush to tap this in the crease. Oh yeah, that looks cool. I'm using the E07 to put some of that deeper one right here. I love the way that looks. It like kind of frames the eye. Makes me want to do it across the lower lash line. I mean the lash line on the lid too. Kind of like that. Now, let's move back into the reds. So I'm going to put these aside. Going back into that color that I dipped into on the Warms My Blood. I'm just going to kind of angle this right here. put it like a little blob. Let's go ahead and do the lower lash line too, so that way I kind of have like a guide to go by. Makes it a little easier. And there, that's like a little like map to follow. The goal is to just blend and buff this out. It doesn't need to meet up with the green. It's kind of like a cut crease in a way. Not a cut crease. It's kind of like a halo eye in a way. But it's also not that. It's like two different colors, you know what I mean? I'm going to switch to the E25 from Sigma. I love the way this one's shaped for doing this kind of outer corner. Then I want to dip into the High Temp from Unearthly, and I want to go into this shade, Heated. This is a beautiful red. One of my favorite matte reds in my collection. I'm basically just going to do the same thing with this one. It's giving Grinch. Like how the Grinch stole Christmas. That's what it reminds me of. Then I want to go into just the taste. I want to do a little bit of this shade, Veins of Velvet. And I'll just use this same brush. I'm just going to clean it off. But so far, this is exactly what I was going for. I don't want to do too much of this, but just enough. Honestly, I should probably use a smaller brush. So, switching to the E27. And I mean, it's like a little, needs more blended, like on the lid. But I think I'm going to wait until after I do the shimmers, because I might not even need to worry about that, you know what I mean? But this is exactly what I wanted, and it's so cute. I just went downstairs and Amanda was like, oh, I love pink and green. It reminds me of the Joker. I'm like, it's red. It's red. But it kind of does look pink, doesn't it? It is what it is. But we're going to go into some black from the Dieverune palette. So, what do I want to use? Let's use this little brush, the E27. So let me just dip into here. I do feel like it needs some black. But I do feel my eye tingling out here on the outer corner. And I think it's the red from Warms My Blood, because I've never had any issues with the others. That palette is very old, but in one of my older Unearthly palettes, I had issues with the red and being allergic to it. So it makes me wonder if maybe that's the case. But the palette is also like old. That came out the year we moved in this house, so 3 years ago. See, everything looks a little better with the black. I'm gonna use the E07 to put some of this down here. Now we gotta do the shimmers and stuff. So I'm gonna use my Stick and Sparkle from Dieverune and kind of just tap this here in the center. And then we're gonna figure out everything. Then the shimmers, there are so many good ones. So I'm not gonna be able to do these two, I don't think. So we have Silver Bells. This one is so cool, like the little marbled effect in there is stunning. And of course you could just press and get that effect on the eye, which I do love that. Or you can just swirl it around and get that on the eye, which I think is so freaking cool. And then we have Baubles, which is such a pretty red. I think it has like a green glitter reflect from what I'm remembering. It's been a few days since I swatched these. No, it's like purple. Really gorgeous. But I don't think I'm going to use this one today either. I really have my heart set on the other two. I love like the brassiness that you can get out of this marbled shade, Garland. And it really looks like, you know, when you were growing up and your parent had like the box of Garland. It's giving that. It's so pretty. There's so many gorgeous colors in here, but it's gorgeous. And I want to put this like here. It's so pretty. Let's use a brush though, because I feel like if I'm not careful, this is gonna get away from me and I may regret it. And when I tapped that shadow on, I feel like I lost some of the red there. So I need to fix that too real quick. Now I'm kind of taking this shade over a little because I want to overlap with the other one. I think it could be fun. Before I do that, I want to dip into some more of that black to blend this outer corner. But you see what I meant? Like there's a little bit of brassiness in that. So pretty. It really has every shade of this in there and then some. Such a stunning shade. But then we're going to use the Hollow Christmas Lights. This one is really pretty. And I love her. And it's so bright. Oh, it's so bright and beautiful. And you can really see those hollow glitters. At least I can. And honestly, you could totally call it quits after this, because to me, this is a perfect, like, Christmassy look. And it has the perfect undertone of green, especially giving those Grinch vibes. But I have been so in love with this, like, murky green all year this year. So I love it. But I do want to amp it up with some liner, some gems, and all of the things. I'm going to do the other eye real quick off camera and figure out like what exactly I want to do, and then I'll be back and we'll finish up the look together. And I'm excited. So I just figured out what I did wrong, and I think I did it in my video with the Lethal Serpentine palette as well. The reason it's turning pink is because I put it on this white base. So if you're doing that too and you're having the same trouble to where all of your reds are turning more pink, that is why. At least that's what the internet says. I looked it up and it said that anything with the white base might turn it more pink leaning, which is kind of crazy to think about, but yeah, I wish I'd have known that ahead of time, because I would have loved if this would have been more like true red, but it's still beautiful. Now I'm really gonna go finish the look and I'll be right back. Okay, so the eyes kind of match and I did Afterlife for liner and it looks so cute. Really ties in that inner corner. But I'm gonna try my best to do liner, at least one eye on camera, and then we'll see. I really love these. So this is the Holly Jolly Wet Liner. Why I danced when I said that, I don't know. But the thing I like about these is they're metallic. And this white has the most beautiful, like, opalescent, is that a word? I don't know, opalescent finish. It is so pretty, you guys. I don't know if I'm using that today, but I'm doing the gold. I want to tie in this gold. Honestly, gold on the waterline would have been really nice too, but we're just going to give it a shot. So to mix this, I'm going to use one of my liner brushes from Singe Beauty, but luckily I do have 2 of them. So I'll use one to mix and one to actually use. I love it because of the angle. It makes it easier because you can kind of like rest your arm and follow the line, but we're going to give it a shot. So I'm going to hit this with a little bit of setting spray, and I've learned with this, which I'm sure most people did a long time ago, consistency is key. How you mix this really matters and makes it work easier, the formula better. It doesn't like crack after it dries and all of those things. So I'm just gonna mix it until I feel like it's right. And I'm still learning, so take what I say with a grain of salt, because I barely know what I'm talking about, but I do know the mixing part matters. I actually learned that because of Glisten. If it wasn't for them, I probably never would have figured it out. See, like, it's getting thicker. You can kind of see, like, the consistency. And that's what you want. You want thick, but not too thick. And you can even like do test swipes. Like, that's so pretty. This one needs a little more mixing because see how it's like kind of bunching up at the tops and bottoms. I don't want that. Like, I wish I was good and I could do like those cute little squiggly lines, like the line with the line going in and out. I would love to, but I totally can't. And trying to match it, you can forget it. Me just trying to create a liner is truly a whole task. So that's just what I'm going to do. A wing situation. We'll spice it up with the gems and some mascara. Okay, so picking up some of this on the brush. You are not supposed to pull your eye, but I have to. It is the only way I can do it. But that is really cool. And I would love to be able to relax my arm. But then you guys wouldn't be able to see. My camera battery is getting ready to die. But, I mean, you get the gist. This is what I'm basically doing. I'm going to have to go over this and, like, make it more opaque, less sloppy. But this is basically what I'm going for. And a little cheat, if you kind of make it messy, use like a little skinny brush like this and use the colors, the mattes, to like clean it up. That's what I do because I never do a good job at liner. Okay, so I put on the white mascara. Look at that. I'm gonna cover it with the red, but I love that formula. I would love to have it in black. That is so cool. I've never like used a white mascara. I could see this being fun in like some really cool like winter looks, but I love it. So I'm gonna do the red now. I also really like the wand, but I'm gonna do the red and I'll be back with the finished look. I am probably gonna put on lashes and I'll have to do the lashes as well, but I can't wait to see what it looks like all finished. So far it's really cute. So I'm not gonna lie guys, it was a process getting here, but we are done. So I tried the red mascara and I will say these mascaras are very pigmented. So if you've been looking for a red or a green or even a white and you can't find one that has good pigmentation and that actually does look good on the lashes, look no further. I found them, but the colors did not match my eye look. I tried the red and the green and ended up taking them off because the red is giving a little pink like we talked about earlier. The green is more of a chartreuse, not so much of like a Christmas true green, you know what I mean? So it didn't make much sense either. So at the end of the day, I decided to just do lashes, and then I did red tips on my lower lashes. I am very excited to do that with some of my fake lashes too, because I think that would be really cool. I considered it like doing it with these, but I just think that where it's the wrong red, it doesn't look right. See, you can kind of see it's true red, you know what I mean? And my eye look just didn't turn out that way. But I do like those, and I'm excited to get more use out of them. And of course I did the gems, because it's like Christmas baubles, you know? At least I decorated one tree this year, you know, on my face. But it was fun. So I did do that melt liner I showed you earlier, but I topped it with Sunburst from Cosmic Beauty. It's a really pretty gold, and it really ties the lower lash line in with that wing situation and worked out really well. And then I also did my Tower 28 mascara in the shade Jet, and my Melt BB lashes from the Bailey Sarian collab. And I decided, so I originally had on Optimistic Oak from Singe and the Blend Bunny Ghosted Lip Oil Gloss from the Haunt Me Jordan Liberty collection. So I did Pariah under it this time. On its own, it's really beautiful, but the bold eye and the bold lip felt like a lot, but it is like the perfect shade of gold if you need something a little Christmassy maybe next year, or you just like the gold, because it is quite beautiful, especially like underneath this gloss. But this was really fun, and I hope you guys had a great time too, especially if you are someone who does celebrate, but for one reason or another, you are not celebrating this year. I hope that this video brought you some type of joy or excitement, because I've been there. Actually, like, our plans kind of changed. I just found out in the middle of doing this video that I was kind of excited because as most of you know, Amanda's niece moved back in with us this year, and she's expecting her and her boyfriend. They're having a baby here in a few weeks, but Amanda raised her, and the last 3 years she has been living with her mom, and then some things happened and she moved back in with us, and it was I've been so excited all year to have her home for Christmas, especially knowing this is the last year we have just her before the baby, and last minute plans, you know, and come to find out she's not going to be home Christmas Eve or Christmas, neither one of them, and now basically our plans have changed, which kind of makes me sad, but I don't want to be one of those people that make the children feel guilty because they can't be at 100 places at once. So I completely get it, but it sucks, you know? So I'm glad you guys are here. I mean, I have Amanda, so I'm not by myself or anything, but I'm glad you guys are here. I'm glad we got to sit and hang out together and play with these products. I am so excited to have these singles in my collection. You know, Dieverune makes my all-time favorite singles, and to get them in PR truly is just so exciting and makes me so happy. And just this collection as a whole is so fun. This highlighter is so gorgeous. And keep in mind, I've rubbed like 90% of my face products off because I've had this done for hours now, but I just love it. I had so much fun. I would love to see her put these up on the site. I really do. Like, they're so clicky and fun. I've always been such a huge fan of their wet liners as well. I have like 5 or 6 of these, maybe 7 or 8 now, something like that. But you guys are gonna have to let me know, did you pick up anything from the Sporklemas collection? I guarantee you with 100% certainty, if I had not gotten this in PR, I definitely would have picked it up, because Dieverune is one of my very, very top favorite brands. I absolutely love them and was so excited. I love this launch. Like, it was small but mighty. You know, it's impactful, and that's what I love here. But I hope you guys have a great day, whether you're watching this on Christmas, after, whether you celebrate or don't. I had a blast, and I appreciate you guys spending some of your time with me. It really does mean so much. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help me out. And I'll have everything linked down below. But until next time, bye.